back to Cabral House Call. I'm Stephen Cabral, board certified naturopathic doctor, and I'm here today to answer your wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. So the first question today is, which lab would I recommend to increase energy? So I think what we're really looking at is, what are the possibilities of why you might have low energy, and how do we test for those? So if you already know that you have some type of thyroid-based issue, which can, like low thyroid can lead to low energy. Hashimoto's can lead to low energy. However, what most people don't understand is that the adrenal glands and what's called the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis actually affects the thyroid. And it affects it more than people realize, because once you start stimulating the stress response, it starts to block actually TSH to T4, and then it starts to block T4 to T3. Now again, that doesn't have to mean anything to you, but it shows how thyroid stimulating hormone, and actually T4 to T3, can be blocked by stress, by glucocorticoids, and that means that you're not going to be getting the most out of your thyroid, out of your metabolism. But it also can just simply go back to, you have something wrong with your ability to produce energy. And I'd like the first place to look at, are you simply kind of burnt out? Are you not able to respond correctly to stress in your life? So until we can get to mitochondrial function, all of that. But what I'd like to do is just start with a simple stress test. So an adrenal stress test looks at cortisol times 4. It's a great test. It's saliva-based, so anyone can do it anywhere. You're just mailing in 4 little saliva tubes that you've collected over 24 hours. So you do it right when you wake up. You do it around noon before lunch. You're going to do it mid-afternoon when we kind of hit that slump. And then you're doing it before bed. Because a lot of times, even though people are fatigued during the day, all of a sudden have energy when it comes time to bed and they can't sleep. So your curve should go like this during the day. And so I do recommend, it's called adrenal-based stress test. It's doing cortisol times 4 that shows your energy or your ability to produce energy. And then I'm also looking at DHEA, which helps balance cortisol. I'm looking at testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So it's kind of a comprehensive adrenal-based stress test. We'll link it up in the show notes as well. It's my starting point. I really like to look there because I already know that if you're producing inadequate cortisol or inadequate DHEA or inadequate anything, you can't respond to stress appropriately. Your body's a little bit burnt out. That's a great starting point for kind of rebuilding the body, rebooting the body. So I hope that answers your question. The next question. So what supplement would help increase energy and decrease stress? So again, I would go back to this. It's called the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal gland axis. And I know I keep going back to that, but that's how everything works. Everything just kind of works in a loop. You feel some stress coming into your body, and your body reacts to it. Your brain's telling your adrenal glands to either produce some type of norepinephrine, epinephrine, adrenaline in the US, that's what we call it. And then eventually from the inside of the adrenal, the cortex, you start to produce cortisol. So what I would say is, you have to stop stimulating that stress response over and over and over again so the body can actually relax. And the other part of it, when you need the ability to respond, your adrenal glands need to work. That HPA axis needs to work properly. So the best way to do that, at least in the short term, would be something called herbal-based adaptogens. It's not the only thing I recommend, because I need to make sure that you are getting enough B vitamins, the anti-stress vitamins. I need to make sure that your magnesium to calcium levels are appropriate. And you can do a hair mineral analysis test for that as well. And then I would make sure that those herbal adaptogens are there, because they're great in the beginning to actually, they've been used for over 6,000 years. There's, whether you believe in them or not, the clinical evidence is there, the anecdotal evidence is there, and now the actual research is there as well. All you have to do is go in something like the Natural Standard Database. You can find that ashwagandha, that these things work. They've been used for thousands of years for a reason. Herbs aren't always my first choice, but when it comes to something like this, it's a great choice. I like the B vitamins, I like the herbal adaptogens, and I like magnesium, as long as you're not totally wiped out and exhausted, because magnesium can be a little bit of a sedative. I use magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate potentially, lactate, just not some of the other forms which might not be as well absorbed. And again, it is person dependent, but I don't see any harm for the most of the people to be using these specific types of things. So why don't I link up some of my favorite brands right now as well that I use in my own practice with wellness clients that have the same exact thing. I mean, I see hundreds of people a year who come in with these same exact issues. Hopefully that helps. Next question. Is there something that can help reduce my stress and anxiety? So kind of a broad question. What I would say is this, is depending on where your levels of stress and anxiety are, is I would absolutely test them. Again, you can do the adrenal stress-based test, Or you could do maybe the less expensive one to start, which is the hair tissue mineral analysis. And you can actually see, does your body even have the right nutrients in terms of minerals, in terms of like electrolytes that you can respond appropriately? Because maybe you can't. Like maybe if your body doesn't have what it needs, it can't actually respond to how you want it to. Because sometimes you can try to push through it with willpower all day. But if you don't have the chemicals inside your body to be able to do what you need to do, you're not going to get there. It's going to be an uphill battle. And I mean, I just take it from me, who's somebody who's fought that battle for many years, until I had the nutrition my body needed. And again, my digestive system was so weak, I couldn't even break down the food properly, which means that until I got the right nutritional supplements in my body, there was no way I was going to be able to get better. That's just the way it was. And again, I'd love to say you can do it just through food alone, and that would be ideal. But when people's digestive systems are so weak, how can you extract the nutrients that you need from that food in the first place to be able to get what you need? So what I would say is, let's look at it also besides the test, besides the supplements. What can you do lifestyle based? And what I would say is, to be able to reduce stress is you need to stop stimulating again that nervous system. And it all comes back to the breath. So whenever you are in a stressful situation, it's because you're tensing your body up, you're holding your breath, or you're chest breathing, which is just stimulating that fight or flight based response as well. If you breathe in through your nose and you just relax the body, you will start to feel your tension and stress coming down. It's very difficult to be stressed and to belly breathe in through your nose for about 5 seconds and out for about 7 seconds and not be relaxed. So it's something that I when people talk about, I get nervous before a presentation or before I meet with a client or whatever it might be, as I go back to the breath. If you're getting nervous, you're holding your breath, you're holding tension. Just relax the breath, try to calm your mind, and go back to the breathing. Now, you can practice it through meditation, which doesn't have to be chanting or anything like that. You can just literally be sitting there, close your eyes, and concentrate on your breath. You don't need to pick a mantra. You don't need to do anything. All of those things are fine, but you can just simply close your eyes and focus on your breath. Breathe in through for 5 seconds, into your belly, let everything expand, and then start to rise up, and then breathe out for 7 seconds. Just relax your body. That's all you're trying to do. You can do Qigong. You can do Tai Chi. You can, like I said, yoga, but yoga should be Hatha yoga. It shouldn't be a stimulating type yoga. Just things that are going to teach you to breathe and relax your body, or just simply sit and relax. That's a nice way to just calm your body down. And if you're at a desk during the day, there's nothing wrong with taking 5 minutes just to relax, to breathe and calm the body down. Because until you get control of your actual response to stress, it's going to be difficult no matter what you do to actually get control of your own mind as well. And I think that's what we're really talking about, is how our physiology affects our psychology, and vice versa, how our psychology can affect our physiology. So if you can lab test, highly recommended. If you can purchase some nutritional supplements as well that can start to be an herbal adaptogen that can help you adapt to stress so that you can then work on your lifestyle to a better degree so you don't have to fight through willpower, that's great as well. Hopefully this helps and answered your questions. I look forward to coming back tomorrow with another Cabral House Call. Thank you for just tuning into the Cabral Concepts. I want to make you aware of a really fun contest we have going on right now in January. And what we're going to do is we're actually giving away over $2,000 in prizes. This is amazing stuff. This is all things that people use in my own Boston practice, and it's completely free to enter. All you have to do is simply download, subscribe, and review this podcast. Just, give it, hopefully, 5 stars or as many stars as you can give it. Right on iTunes. Very, very simple. To get the full details, simply go to cabralpodcast.com.